Never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always.
It looks like the streets have been buzzing and 50 Cent? Well, he's not holding back. The rap mogul just put Big Meech on blast, and the reason? Oh, it's got the internet in a chokehold right now. If you thought loyalty was the golden rule in this game, think again, because this is about to flip everything you thought you knew. What exactly did 50 say? I never fold, never told, never will. Death before dishonor. And is Big Meech really out here breaking the code? Strap in because this one's about to get messy. One thing we know about 50 Cent? He holds grudges like they're his brand. When it comes to Rick Ross, that's been his #1 enemy for years. But now, Big Meech has entered the chat, and let's just say 50 is not happy. Meech linked up with Ross, and 50 took that personally. Real personally. But wait, things get crazier. Meech is now flipping the script and calling 50 the real snitch. Yep, you heard that right. So what's the truth here? Is 50 just mad that Meech is doing business with his enemy, or is there something deeper brewing? This situation is about to explode, so let's break it down. Big Meech took a picture with Rick Ross, and that was all it took for 50 Cent to lose it. You know, 50 doesn't play when it comes to his enemies, especially not Ross, who's been a thorn in his side for years. So when footage dropped of Meech and Ross chilling like best buds, 50 went nuclear. On February 13th, the Big Meech Ben concert went down, and it was iconic. Too many big names to list, but shout out to legends like Lil Baby, Bossman, Dowlow, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, and Ricky Rose. This event was groundbreaking. But 50 didn't just call Meech out. He went straight for the jugular, accusing him of being an informant. That's when the name Tammy Cowen came into play. And trust me, things took a wild turn from there. But before we dive into Tammy's role in all this, let's take a moment to really understand who Big Meech is. If you're not familiar, don't worry. I've got you covered. Let's break it down real quick. Big Meech is one of the most infamous figures in hip-hop and street history. He's the founder of the Black Mafia family, or BMF, a massive drug trafficking and money laundering operation that started in Detroit back in 1985. And it wasn't just him. His brother, Southwest T, was right by his side. And together, they built one of the most powerful crime organizations in U.S. history. What set BMF apart from other crews? They mixed business with the streets and used the hip-hop industry as a front to clean their money from drug sales. They weren't just sitting in the background either. They were actively involved in the music game, pushing some of the biggest names in hip-hop at the time. They even started their own record label, though their only real artist was Blue Da Vinci. Spoiler alert. Blue never made it big and ended up behind bars. BMF raked in hundreds of millions of dollars before it all came crashing down. In total, they reportedly made over $270 million before the feds shut them down. This story was so insane that 50 Cent himself turned it into a TV show. And here's the kicker. The guy playing Big Meech on the show? That's Lil Meech, Big Meech's actual son. Meanwhile, Big Meech has been locked up for almost 20 years after being convicted of running a huge criminal enterprise that stretched from Atlanta to Detroit and beyond. But recently, Meech got a major break in his sentence, and that's where Tammy Cowen comes into play. Now, when 50 says he's going to go nuclear and expose Meech's dirty laundry in a documentary, you know it's about to get wild. 50 didn't just pull the informant accusation out of thin air. He came with receipts. According to him, Tammy Cowen played a crucial role in getting Meech's sentence reduced. And, according to 50, Meech had to do a lot of talking to make that happen. And we all know in the streets being labeled a snitch is the worst thing you can be accused of. Sources from all over the internet are weighing in, including what was in Tammy's sworn affidavit. She claims that Meech, aka Demetrius Flannery, put her in contact with Fidel Suarez out of California and Dion Gatlin, aka Cuffy, out of St. Louis to arrange a large drug sale. Adding fuel to the fire, 50 Cent is doubling down on his accusations. In a separate post, he suggested that Tammy Cowen might have had a huge role in the downfall of BMF. And let me tell you, this isn't just speculation. 50's hinting at an upcoming documentary that could expose the real reason BMF crumbled. The biggest mistake Meech ever made was not keeping his relationship with Tammy Cowen intact, 50 wrote, sharing a rap meme to drive the point home. But here's the thing. This isn't just shade. 50 is straight up implying that Tammy, who's already been accused of cooperating with the feds, played a critical role in Meech's case. According to Vibe, it might be even worse than we thought. While Meech has always kept up the down-by-law persona, reports suggest he might have engaged in third-party cooperation while in prison to personally benefit from it. And that's why his early release is raising so many eyebrows. After serving over a decade behind bars, Meech's 30-year sentence was reduced, and in October 2024, he was moved to a halfway house. According to Hip Hop DX, he's expected to stay under the Bureau of Prisons' Miami Residential Reentry Management Office until January 2026. But with these kinds of allegations flying around, things are getting real messy for Meech right now. And the fallout? Oh, it's already begun. Tension between 50 Cent and Big Meech is now shaking up the entire hip-hop scene. Reports say some artists, including Atlanta rapper Lil Baby, have pulled out of events following the snitching allegations. If true, this could seriously hurt Meech's comeback. And here's the kicker. Lil Baby, who was seen rolling up in a Ferrari truck with pockets full of money, allegedly didn't even give 50 anything in return. 50 wrote Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted. What the fuck does he owe you? But Meech wasn't about to take that lying down. He clapped back, saying 50's just salty because he's doing business with Rick Ross now. I never fold, never told, never will. Death before dishonor. Meech fired back. But honestly, it's easy to see why 50 would feel some type of way. He's been beefing with Ross for years, and now Meech is out here rubbing elbows with the opposition. Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up, when Skilla Baby don't show up, when V don't show up? He can't even go on house arrest. That wasn't going to sit right with 50, but the real question on everyone's mind? Do 50's claims hold weight? Did Meech really cut a deal behind the scenes? Was Tammy Cowen involved? Reggie Wright even said that Meech got off lightly because 50 was backing him. According to Reggie, 50 saw Meech as someone he fully supported, but once Meech started hanging with Rick Ross, that loyalty was gone. Tammy Cowen, as we know, has been accused of cooperating with the government to help reduce Meech's sentence. But now 50 is calling him a snitch, making sure the industry turns on him. Reggie even suggested that 50 has his own snitching ties. The tables have turned, and now we're about to see who's telling the truth. Now, as if things couldn't get more intense, Rick Ross isn't letting 50 Cent have the last word. Ross makes it crystal clear that Meech's loyalty is up for debate. He calls out the industry for taking things way too personally, doubling down on the fact that 50's reaction is all about ego, not facts. Ross warns that tearing people down won't build you up, and reminds folks that real bosses don't crumble under pressure. In classic Ross fashion, he's stirring the pot, and not just calling out Meech. He's driving a wedge between him and 50 Cent and loving every second of it. Like a hoe, put your back against the wall and just slide down, Ross says. Get your money. Stop making business personal. Ross downplays the snitching accusations, making it seem like 50's just bitter and taking things too personally. You don't owe nobody nothing, homie, Ross preaches, reminding everyone to get that bag and keep moving. All that EXT, don't even have a relationship with your own brothers, your own mothers and fathers? How the hell are you going to act like you're real close with somebody else? Oh, and this feud with Ross. It's nothing new. This beef goes all the way back to 2008, fueled by diss tracks, legal battles, and one infamous lawsuit that cost 50 a cool $7 million. Last year, Ross even took another shot at 50, calling him broke. But history shows one thing for sure. 50 doesn't let things slide, ever. Neither does Gandil, for that matter. It seems like there's no love lost between these two. And now, the drama isn't just about egos. It's starting to threaten 50's business. Rumor has it this could be the final season of BMF, a show tied to his $150 million deal with Stars. Walking away from that kind of money? Yeah, that would hurt most people. But 50? He plays the long game. If he built it once, he'll do it again. Because once you cross him, there's no coming back. Here's the twist. While Meech was locked up, 50 Cent was the one making sure his name stayed relevant. He kept the BMF brand alive, making sure Meech's family had opportunities. BMF wasn't just a show for 50, it was a lifeline. His support helped keep that brand alive, but now it seems like Meech might be forgetting who had his back. And now, Lil Meech is caught in the middle. From the looks of it, he's leaning toward his father's side. 50 just posted a text from Lil Meech, and trust me, it's messy. Lil Meech says he'd take the shirt off his back for 50 cents, but at the same time, he's defending his father's connection to Rick Ross. And here's the kicker. He admits that Ross actually gave Big Meech money to hold him over until BMF picks back up. So now, Ross isn't just sitting on the sidelines. He's got Big Meech and his son right where he wants them. Here's the text Lil Meech sent. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram. And now you managing Skillababy with Rocket when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me? I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only shown you love and loyalty. I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you, FR. Ross gave my dad some bread so he can pay his bills until the next season starts. Oh, and trust me, the internet wasted no time jumping into this mess. They posted the conversation, and Lil Meech got clowned for not standing firm with his dad and playing both sides. Hey, Lil Meech, you were supposed to be like F you this BMF. I'm standing with my pops. Now me and 50 got our own issues, but they're on pause while I post this. And 50? He didn't hold back. What's your little EG on? I damn near spit my water out, he responded. What happened to gangsta, man? Big Meech, you can't let 50 get at you like that. It's official. Lil Meech is biting the hand that fed him. 50 Cent kept his family afloat, helped build his career, and put BMF on the map. But now, with Ross lurking in the shadows, Lil Meech seems to be switching up, and it's feeling like straight-up betrayal. But wait, you might be thinking this is just some he said, she said drama. Nope. We've got receipts, and the biggest bombshell comes from none other than Blue Da Vinci. Now, why is Blue Da Vinci so important? Because he's the reason 50 Cent is calling Big Meech a rat. Blue came out, and he didn't hold back. He laid it all out, starting with Tammy Cowen. Tammy wasn't just anyone. She was a key player in the BMF empire. In fact, she even became a co-producer on the BMF TV show. But here's the kicker. Tammy was also a government informant since 2009. She took control of BMF Entertainment from the inside while Meech was locked up. In 2008, she flipped and started working with the feds, getting a time cut in exchange. And it gets worse. Blue claims the only reason Big Meech got an early release was because they set up Cuffy, one of Meech's longtime associates, to take the fall. That deal was supposed to get Meech out as early as 2018, but it all fell apart when Tammy was caught having a relationship with a DEA officer. Once that scandal blew up, the whole case collapsed. At first, nobody wanted to believe Blue Da Vinci, calling him a bitter hater because Meech's entire legacy was built on never snitching. But now, Blue is putting people on the phone to tell their side of the story, and suddenly, what seemed impossible? It's looking very real. Even with all the receipts laid out, there are still some folks who are standing by Big Meech. Young Buck jumps in, trying to defend Meech. Stop playing with dude, you know I'm going to say that much. But when it comes to 50 Cent, he doesn't care about second chances. His response? No mercy. Straight up, he wrote, this fool fell out with me because he liked boys. I didn't tell him to go love on a EO. He couldn't resist. And just to keep the drama going, 50 even joked about Meech ending up on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'll call Mona Scott Young, executive producer of the reality series, for him, 50 wrote, making it clear. He's not letting this slide. And here's the kicker. 50 warned everyone already. He straight up said it on The Breakfast Club. If you're teetering on the fence, he's going to put you on the other side. No neutral ground. You ride with Ross, go get money with Ross, but once you cross 50, you're done. Of course, the haters are out in full force, calling 50 a culture vulture and claiming he's stirring up drama just for promotion. But let's be real. Who's really benefiting from all this? Is BMF because of Meech, or is it because of 50? Both sides have cashed in on the BMF story, yet somehow, 50's the one getting called out for playing the game right. At the end of the day, this beef isn't just about promotions. It's about loyalty. And if there's one thing 50 can't stand, it's people switching sides when it's convenient. Big Meech might be out here flexing gifts and smiling for the camera, but make no mistake, there's a storm brewing. We've seen what happens to people who cross 50, and it never ends well for them. So, what do you think? Is Big Meech making a huge mistake by siding with Rick Ross? And will 50 really walk away from BMF for good? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this wild situation.